Hello everyone, welcome to Nilanjana's exclusive English lessons. I hope all of you are doing well. So today I am here to discuss the sample paper of grade 10 which was shared by the board, the ICSE Council board, and I know this video is going to be a little long, so I would divide the paper into two halves in the sense that it would be presented in two separate videos because it's going to go a little long. And this was a request actually by two of my subscribers, so I would like to take their name. Yashvi and Deboshrita, they had personally requested me, they had messaged me on my Telegram. So those who have not joined the Telegram, yes, I do communicate with my subscribers over there, and any doubts you can definitely get back to me. So both of them had actually requested me, and they had also sent me the paper. So yes, I am always on my mission to help my students, and that's the reason I know I'm again probably I took a little longer than usual to present this. So let me begin the discussion of this paper. All right, so the first one, we are going to discuss the MCQs. All right. Now, this is the paper which was presented by the Council for grade 10. So you will have the entire syllabus in this paper. I know in many of the schools probably you have not done a couple of lessons, but yeah, I will skip that, the lessons also which I have not done. Probably one or two only lessons is they are left. I'm going to cover all the questions mainly, and accordingly later on you can watch the video. All right, so the first question is, where was Caesar put to death? Okay, so Caesar was put to death where? He was put to death at the foot of Pompey's statue. Who asked permission to speak at Caesar's funeral? Antony. Antony is the answer. He had asked the permission to speak at Caesar's funeral. Woe to the hands that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy. So these lines tell us that Antony is enraged. Okay, he is enraged. He's not sorrowful, he's very angry, and that's the reason he is swearing and he wants to take revenge. When Antony says this is a slight, unmeritable man meet to be sent on errands, he refers to Lepidus. What strategy does Cassius suggest that the conspirators follow? Cassius suggested that they would remain where they are. Brutus had said that they would march towards Philippi, but Cassius suggested that they would remain where they are. So we are not going with the first one. Don't get confused. The answer is the second one. Remain where they are. Okay. Next is when Cassius says my life is run his compass, he means that his life had come full circle. Which of the given options contains the figure of speech that appears in the following line from Leigh Hunt's poem, The Glove and the Lions? Ramped and rode the lions. Yes, this poem is also there on my channels. Yes, those who have not listened, please go and listen to the explanation. So this is a question on the figure of speech. You will be getting similar questions. Okay, so directly you will not be asked identify the figure of speech. You will be given some examples which will be very similar to the same figure of speech as given in the poem. So here, ramped and rode the lions. Ramped and rode. RR is repeated. So yes, all of you know what it is. It is an alliteration. So here, the C option, rich gifts of raiment or grain of gold, is the answer. Which of the following is not an effect of Bhishma Lochan Sharma's powerful singing in Shukumar Ray's poem, The Power of Music? The sky weeps tears. The trees shake and crash. The people retire amazed. The turtles whine and stare. So it is not an effect. Not an effect means something that doesn't happen in the poem. So the turtles, they don't whine and stare. Okay, so this is the answer. Which of the following words does Longfellow use to describe the movement of the phantoms in his poem Haunted Houses? Answer is, options are slide, glide, noiseless, invisible. The answer is glide. The word glide is there in the poem, so this is the word that he had used to describe how the phantoms move in the poem. The theme of Maya Angelou's poem, When Great Trees Fall. Yes, this is a very recent video which I had posted yesterday. So please go and listen to the explanation. When great trees fall, what is the theme? The theme is the impact of the death of a loved one on those left behind. Effect of felling trees, how the death of trees affects humanity, the impact of natural calamities on a forest. These are the wrong options. The correct one is A. 12th one, in Stephen Leacock's With the Photographer, while waiting for the photographer, the narrator spent time. So how did the narrator spend time? He spent time reading magazines, examining the studio, talking on his phone, writing in his diary. No, we're not going to go with this. The correct option is reading magazines. In The Girl Who Can, Nana expressed her disapproval of Adoja's legs because they were slender. This lesson is remaining. I have not done it I have not posted this. So they were slender. Choose the option. This also I have not done, so I'm skipping this one. Select the option that shows the correct relation between statements 1 and 2 from William Slater's short story, The Elevator. Statement 1, terrified of the fat lady in the elevator, Martin ran down the stairs, fell and broke his leg. Statement 2, angry and disappointed that his son had behaved like a fool and a coward, Martin's father did not talk to him on the way to the hospital. So now here you're going to find the relation between the two statements. Okay, many students would get scared of these questions, but I'll tell you it's very easy. You just need to have a calm mind. So first, don't be tensed. All right, so understand it slowly, line by line. The first one is true and 2 is false. If you have read the story nicely, you will realize that actually both the statements are true. Martin, why did he break his leg? Because he was very scared and he ran down the stairs, and in that rush he fell down and broke his leg. When his father came to know, that is also correct. He was very angry. He did not even say anything to him. He didn't expect Martin to behave in this manner. So both are true. So we cannot go with A. 2 is true and 1 is false. This is also wrong. 1 is the cause for 2. 1 and 2 are independent of each other. Again, D is wrong. So the correct answer is the C one. 1 is the cause for 2. Ray Bradbury's short story, The Pedestrian, can be best described as utopian, dystopian, humorous, a fairy tale. I have explained this lesson also. Okay. So obviously it is not a fairy tale. Again, it is no way humorous. Utopian. Now those who don't know the meaning of utopian and dystopian. Utopian is a perfect society. A perfect place where everything is perfect to the core. There is nothing, no flaws, nothing. And dystopian is a dark society where you don't have anything good or perfect. So in this story, we realize that it is actually a dystopian society, right? So we are going to go with the B option. Are we all ready? What is now a mess that Caesar and his Senate must redress? This is the extract. Metellus, most high, most mighty, most puissant Caesar, Metellus Cimber, throws before thy seat a humble heart. So question is, where are the speakers? So I have shared the answers on the screen. The speakers are in the Senate. What is the meaning of the word puissant? Puissant means powerful. Explain. Metellus Cimber throws before thy seat a humble heart. So this means that, what does this mean? So you have to write, this means that Metellus Cimber approaches your throne with a humble heart. At the beginning of the scene, Caesar says the Ides of March are come. Why do you think Caesar said this? He said this because he wanted to prove that he remained unharmed and he is not susceptible to any danger. Nobody can harm him. What does the soothsayer say in response? The soothsayer said that it had come, but not yet gone. This means that danger was still lurking somewhere and Caesar was not safe. Next question is, what specific duties do the conspirators allot to Trebonius and Casca? So Trebonius was asked to take Mark Antony away from the murder scene, and Casca was instructed to be quick in striking the blows. He would be the first person to attack Caesar. Why does Cassius become nervous when Popilius Lena speaks to him as they enter? Cassius thought that their plans were discovered. He was ready to kill himself if their mission was unsuccessful. The fourth question is, what does Artemidorus want of Caesar? Artemidorus wanted Caesar to read the letter, which was a petition about the warning of the conspiracy against Caesar. How does Caesar respond to his plea? Caesar said that what concerned him personally would be the last thing for him to pay attention. He would rather look into grave matters about the general well being of Rome. Fifth one, shortly after this exchange, Caesar is stabbed to death by the conspirators. Whom do you sympathize with, Julius Caesar or the conspirators? Give reasons. I would sympathize with Caesar because killing him brutally in the Senate is very alarming. There is a lot of bloodshed in the scene. The conspirators were wrong to punish Caesar in this way. Moreover, Caesar was not a tyrant as he was shown to be. He was a people's leader. Now, last one is a personal response question. You can write as you want. If you think that you want to go ahead with the conspirators, give valid reasons for that, justify your answer, and accordingly you can write. Okay. So this was the first reference about Julius Caesar. So today this is the end of the video. I would continue with this video in the basically I would discuss all the answers in my next video. I hope all of you have understood, and yes, if you want me to discuss any question paper like this, you can share it with me on my Telegram channel. I would definitely love to help all of you out. And that's all for today. Have a beautiful day ahead.